stop what you're doing, because I got to tell you now what's on my mind. So we've been at this for some time, and I just wanna know if your body's feeling just as strong as mine. Cause even though we got some years in this, the song is brand new to me. To see the butterflies, my palms get sweaty, my thoughts and my heart still beat. You got this kind of effect on me. So maybe we can sit down and just wind down and speak of all the many reasons why we stick around. But really all I want from you is just to love me a little more tonight. Say that your heart belongs to me, 'cause my heart is yearning for you, yeah. And baby, I'm forever loving you. Yeah, tell me that your heart belongs to me, yeah. 'Cause I'm yearning for you.
Talofa Utah, Talofa Internet. Welcome into Buddha's Lounge under Everyday People. Tonight we have a very, very special guest who embodies definitely our saying here on the show. Everyday people are doing extraordinary things. Before we get to our guest, just wanted to remind everybody that this show is powered by GetMed.co. These guys have the easiest and the fastest way to get your medical card at the lowest price. This Friday from 1 to 5 p.m., they'll be hanging out with our good friends at Wholesome Co., 580 West, 100 North, $75 to get your new medical card or to renew your medical card, and all of the savings that they can have for you there. While you're there, say hi to the guys out there, Dan, Jason, JD, all of those guys out there, Alex at Wholesome Co. This Friday, 1 to 5. Also on Saturday, starting at 1 p.m. at Valley Fair Mall, we'll have the Ultimate Kids Party. It's a free party. Seni, this party, you can bring all of your kids. Every 15 minutes, they're going to pull a prize. So this is what I usually tell my kids. I say, come, I'm going to throw a big party for you guys.
Right.
It's a white lie. Yes, it's a white lie. Sorry. But all of those things, we'll have them on our website and our page at Everyday People on Facebook, Everyday People Pacifica chapter. One of the things that we proudly talk about on this podcast, as well as our Everyday People podcast on Friday mornings, is that we like to highlight people in our community who are ordinary citizens, but yet they are doing some extraordinary things. My guest is no stranger to any of those things. And I will explain and I will showcase to you why we have Seni on today. But before we start, please, Seni Penitani, would you please tell us a little bit about your background, your islands, and the villages that you come from, so that we might honor and say hi to our families abroad through the broadcast?
Yeah, I'm a proud citizen of Nomuka. Nomuka, a hot bike group back in Tonga. It's about 2.5 square miles. I usually told people it's 4 square miles, and I search about it, only 2.5 and the square miles, and there are about maybe 400-500 people there back then, and I miss it. I love to be back in the island of in Tonga. Yeah, I moved to America in 2006 as a student after working for 13 years in a non-profit organization, Christian organization, and the last 5 years of those 13 years I was in Fiji, working mainly with the students at University of South Pacific with this Christian organization, where we go to talk to university students about Jesus, and that's where my passion for leadership started, because part of my role, I was assigned as like the campus director for the student ministry and to develop leaders among college students. And that's where my passion for leadership started. But that's where my story started before I came to America.
Your family names. What are your family names on your mom's and your dad's side?
Yeah, Penitani. Actually, only my dad has the Penitani. The rest of the younger siblings, is Osai. We have some Osai here.
Okay.
But my dad seems to be a middle name, and somehow it ended up. So that's my dad's side, but my mom's side is Taufa. Taufa. That's mom's surname. Last name is Taufa family in Namukadud. They are from Namukadud, so I'm a full citizen of
Namuka.
And Namuka has a reputation back in Tonga. No, people in Tonga knows it.
If you know it, please comment down. I'm from Samoa. I want to learn all of the history. It's kind of like, when people hear that I'm related to, that I have family in Nuku Nuku, the first thing the OGs usually ask me, do you know to swim? I'm like, yeah, I know to swim. Then you're really not from Nuku Nuku. So I understand some of those things. Well, welcome and thank you for sharing a little bit of your family lineage with us. Again, part of a big reason that way we have this, and part of the themes that we do is we highlight and champion everyday people such as yourself, who is doing extraordinary things. You're going to school currently, you're working on your doctorate degree, but you're also running a business. You just mentioned the thing that you took from, so you're a missionary. You were helping young Christians become leaders and form leadership patterns.
Yes.
And practices. From that, you took that and made it into a business, a school?
Yes.
Kind of?
Yeah.
Explain, what's the name of the business?
It's a long name and a profound name. Usually, when I go to business networking event and everyone shared a business, everyone was serious about the business, and some people have a really well-off business. And the way I introduce it, I usually said, I'm a CEO of a multi-million-dollar company called Community Leadership Builders of America. And everyone was looking at me. It's a joke. But that's a name. The name is Community Leadership Builders of America. That's the, and there's a story behind it, and a dream also why I call it like that.
That is actually, you know what? I can see the picture. You're at a conference or a convention, and that name does that really does sound like $1 million company. No, you, bro, sis, that's the tongue and get up right there. So tell me a little bit about, so it started from the Christian background. Where does the idea of wanting to help people find their leadership qualities, where does that come from? Besides the church thing, is that something mom and dad instilled in you?
No, I never thought that. I was like my son. I didn't think about leadership as something to aspire to do, even before. But when I was in Fiji, one of the things that I experienced in Fiji, there was a church there, and that church comprised of well-educated Tongans. Because in Fiji, the community there, university students, Tongans work in regional organizations, and there is a theological school, so the church. But I work in this organization, American organization called Campus Crusade for Christ. Started at UCLA in 1951, and they reach out to university students. But one thing that I learned, they are big in leadership development. And part of it, because when you go to that organization, you have to raise your own salary, everything. You have to raise, So they recruit from university students to come and work for us, but you raise everything.
Yourself. Wow.
And in order for that to happen, and you have to, leadership development is big. Because it goes through, there's a vision part, there's a vision part, we call it, it's a purpose dimension of leadership. And there is a person dimension. You have to develop yourself to have this aspiration to the purpose. And there is a people dimension. You are able to influence people to accomplish that purpose. And that's why they organize it. And that's what my aspiration was. And when I was in this town community in Fiji, I recognized that having a degree doesn't necessarily make you a leader.
Wow. Very profound. Thank you.
Having a degree doesn't make you a leader. You have to be intentional in developing yourself as a leader. And some people, and this is what I recognize, back in the Pacific, some people go to college, like in Tonga, well-educated people in Tonga. But what take them to that position does not make them a leader to the people they will run. Like a guy who has a doctorate in some area, he's do research, and then they put him on a leadership position. He doesn't know how to relate to people. And as Pacific Islanders, we command and control autocratic style of leadership, and there are a lot of destruction, and let alone the personal issue with corruption, and that's what's happening. But so that's my aspiration. And when I came to America, I was very focused, and because my director asked me, why do you want to go to school in America? Because I was in the university, you should go to Australia or New Zealand, or even at the university. I said, leadership, that's my aspiration. I want to go. And my intention was to return to the Pacific. I was one of those Tongans who I did not want to come and stay in America. Even when I dated my wife, one of the first conditions I asked my wife when I dated her, are you coming with me to Tonga? Because after school, I will return to Tonga.
Well, you remind me of a lot of the sons and daughters of the South Pacific. I remember hearing that growing up in Samoa. Parents would talk to their kids, go to school, come back. We need you to come back to help lift our people, to help elevate our people. Sometimes it happens, but most of the time the kids would stay abroad. But the word that you caught my attention was intentional. You have to be intentional in your idea and your business about becoming a leader. I love that. Can you talk a little bit more about being intentional?
Yeah, intentional. Some people, they go through life, even business people, they focus on building the business, and that's why they have goals to accomplish. They have systems or whatever to accomplish. Right. So they call it like the performance goals. But there is no personal development, personal growth goals. In us, in the John Maxwell team, we have two kind of goals. Okay. Your performance goals, like your business goals, but you also have to develop yourself. Because in leadership, there is what we call the law of the lead. And the story, like the sad story of McDonald's is the story of the law of the lead. Started by those brothers, different brothers, and they hit the ceiling. They don't grow themselves to have a bigger vision. The business, they were successful, and then someone
had a bigger vision.
Yeah, bigger vision. And that's why in leadership development, some businesses, you start like this, and usually that's the case. You go up because you begin your business, and then it goes up, and then it hits. It is the leadership, we call it the leadership lead. That's the highest. He does not see how can I grow myself in order that I have a bigger vision, or see where I can grow the business bigger or larger. But
is that a disconnect they have? Is growing the business and forgetting that they need to grow themselves too?
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. Because at the heart of leadership, like I mentioned before, like my son, when I said, hey, let's do some leadership, sign into the leadership program, learn leadership. And he said, no, I don't want to be a leader, and I hate the leader. I don't want to lead anyone. I said, no, it's about leading yourself. What are you interested? Because some people have a position of leadership without functioning as a leader. But there are people who function as a leader with a leadership position. And I think that's why we need to develop our kids, because leadership essentially is about growing yourself and transforming oneself to grow, to become the person that God wants you to be, or according to reach your highest potential as a human being.
One question before we take a break. I'd like to take a break and reorganize my thoughts, but I wanted to ask you about the kids thing. How old, you said you should have them trained in the leadership. How old or how young should we start our kids in learning leadership qualities?
I think it's part of parenting. For me, it's part of parenting. Leader things we started at home. That's how we develop leaders. Leader discipline. Like the huge thing in leadership is self-discipline, and I think we do it. without being self-conscious, but being intentional. I think sometimes we are not being intentional. But when with the organization that I'm affiliated with the John Maxwell team, we start a program for the teenagers once they reach 12, and they have this program for 12 years old. But we have, with the Maxwell team, we have a curriculum that they offer to school, different parts of the United States, different other parts of the world, that they started even from the grade school in a storytelling form, where but being intentional that's part of the key word that kids will know. You start from leading yourself, decide to identify what is your strength, what is your dream, where are you heading. And I think that the younger they are in terms of knowing, because that's part of me as a parent, is to how can I motivate the kids and
Yes.
to do something rather than just playing games.
Video
But it's part of the struggle as parents.
Yeah. Speaking of struggle, you couldn't tell it, but by his happy demeanor and his positive outlook. But when we come back, we'll talk about hardship, if it's okay with Seni. We'll talk about and how maybe some lessons in that, with your family, your kids, and losing your spouse. Please don't move a muscle. We'll be right back. Thank you for joining us here on Buddha's Lounge.
Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. To see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. To see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you.
Welcome back in to Buddha's Lounge under Everyday People. We are having a very, very lovely conversation with our good friend Seni Penitani. He is the CEO, founder
Yes.
of give me the name of the company again.
Community Leadership Builders of America.
Bro, that name, I'm telling you, that is Community
Leadership
Leadership.
Builders.
Community Leadership
Builders.
Builders of America.
Yes.
It's $1 million company for sure. Right? But we would like to take some donations. Thank you for joining us. If you've missed any part of this, you can go back and rewatch it. We'll have the video in the video library, the video vault, so you'll be able to watch it. There are definitely some nuggets in here, some gems, and the theme on Everyday People is if we can help one person, then we're doing our job. I did have a chance to talk to Seni before we went live, and if there's anything that you don't want to share with us, you're welcome to not share it with us. But I'm hoping that your story will inspire somebody who might be going through a difficult time. Uh, and I'll say this, Cindy, when somebody said to me that you were a single father, you were a widow, and I couldn't tell. You didn't seem like you were someone who lost someone you loved. You were taking care of your kids like it's second nature. You didn't look like you were missing a step. Can you walk us through how have you been able to hold it together? How has your kids been able to hold it together after such a tragic loss? And I apologize again. You could share with us whatever you'd like.
Yes. It's funny when you talk about as a parent. When I got married to my wife, and after school, I live in New York. She was here, and I moved here. My first job was I was the dad, the mom, the mom to the kids. My wife just produce the kids and go to work. So I came and take care of the kids, and I ended up working at the juvenile facility, not so much because my education background matches the place, but I was just looking for a place with a flexible schedule. So I raised the kids. I took care of them until like in the afternoon, like around 3 o'clock. My wife come back from work, and then I go to work at night. So by 2019, part of my story, my wife was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer that affects lungs and liver, and it's a tough journey. And I think one of the things that we did since the very beginning, very first day we talked with the kids about it. We told them, Mommy is having stage 4 cancer, might be dying. And we were crying in the living room. The kids just watch us as we were crying and tell them it won't be long. And one of the reasons that we share with our kids, we want them to go through the process of handling the death, the fear of death and stuff like that. Because we heard about the story, this is a true story happened in New Zealand, about a dad, he's a Tongan scientist, has a doctorate in science. And he got cancer, but he never told her kids, only his wife. He told his wife that he had cancer, but he forbid her from telling the kids until he passed. And the kids was disappointed. They say they feel they were cheated. And they say, so when we heard about that story, we say we prepare our kids for death. Yeah. And one of the things we did before, during those 4 years, God graciously gave us 4 years to prepare for death, the kids to grow up. And we read books about heaven. We talk about heaven, preparing them mentally, emotionally, and until my wife passed away in 2023 in March 23, after 4 years of struggling with cancer. And I shall share with you how my kids handle it. It's amazing. And after those 4 years of struggling, my wife and I cried, a lot of crying at home. Because we thought like every year, every birthday during those 4 years, we thought this is the last birthday, this is the last birthday.
Right.
And when it comes to the end, when my wife passed away, and we go through the grief, after maybe 3 months or so, I saw my kids, they were not crying as I was.
They weren't crying?
No. It's so after 3-4 months, I asked them, and I talked with some other friend, they say, they will break down. Some they say they break down. And the time I said, I don't think so. This is some, and so around May after the Mother's Sunday, I pulled them aside, asked them individually. I said, I don't see you crying. When did you cry? Did you cry? So my son said, yeah, I cried when my mom passed away. On the day she passed, he cried. And my daughter said, he cried on the day the mother passed away, the day of the funeral, and the Mother's Sunday. First, that's 3 times I cried, and that's it. And I asked them individually, I want them to give me their answer. I don't want them to copy each other's answer. And both of them gave me the same answer. My son said, I I miss mommy, and I'm sad that she has gone, but at the same time, I'm happy for her because she is with Jesus. Um, and it's better because I saw her suffer. And my daughter say the same thing. My daughter say, she miss mommy's, but says miss her when she look at her picture on Mother's Sunday, and that's the third time she cried. But she say, I'm happy that she's in Jesus. She's with Jesus. And here's another part of the story that it happens on the first day they went to school on that year. They asked me, they really want to be in the room when mom is passing. And and on on a Monday morning, of first day of school 2023, I thought that mom is going to leave. So I called them to the room. I play some Christian music, and they come in, and I was holding mommy, just trying to breathe. I said, "Mommy is going to pass." They stood there already in the uniform, and they watched their mother for the last breath. And it's funny because, and then it's a praise and worship songs. And then one of the songs said, God is so good, God. And he was struggling to breathe. And it was a little bit awkward. And they stood, maybe after 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, they watched their mother start. And she did not pass that moment. And they asked, Dad, can we go to school? So I misdiagnosed her.
Wow.
And but later when their mother passed away, I think emotionally they're already ready for her to go. And I did not call them to the room when I was there alone. I didn't want them to see her passing. But later they were satisfied. So I was lucky because like my daughter, on the following day, they asked, I want to go to school.
Wow.
Yeah.
The very next day?
Yeah. Bury today, following day. My son just asked me, can I just off from school for 1 day? I said, yeah, it's up to you. You can stay the whole week. But my son just missed school 1 day. And the teachers were amazed. The teachers said,
I was going to ask you, can you tell us, why do you think they were so resilient? Where do you credit that to your kids?
I think because we did not bury our emotion during those 4 years they saw as parents. We honestly dealt with our emotion, and we did not, like, we talked to them, hey, you guys, it's okay to cry, and if you feel like crying, it's healthy.
Wow.
And part of it, and the second thing I think is our faith. I think as kids, they take, because we read a book about heaven, and it was a great book, and I think for them, they look heaven as real. It's not just a myth. I think in their young mind, they look at it, it's true, and their mother is going there, and I think for them, they took faith as kids really seriously.
Well, your kids sound like they have very solid grasp on their emotions, the faith, and a lot of that has to be credited to you too. You know, even though mom's passed, they still have a great shining example. Like I said, I was very proud to see when I would look out and I saw you. I'm like, man, that guy right there, are you sure? That guy looks so happy. He's smiling all the time. We're going to take a break, and then when we come back, how far along has Seni's business come? Well, we're going to break some news. We're going to announce it here. He just got nominated to win an award. So we'll talk about that. He's very, very shy. No, he's going to talk about it. Come on back. I promise you, if you need somebody to help change the landscape of your management, of your company, and of your team, you might want to hook up with Seni. We'll come back. Don't move a muscle.
Should understand that God Himself has come, redeemed us, dwelling among us, the Son of God, subjecting Himself to the will of Jesus Christ, come willingly to eternal life. Come feast upon the word of God. Just trust in Him and come. For salvation cometh to the world through the Lord, but we must heed His word. He has broken the bands of death, filled with compassion towards His children, and were it not for the redemption He made for us, that will be saved. Come heed, come love.
Thank you and welcome back. We are talking with our guest, Seni Penitani. He is the CEO and founder of
Community Leadership Builders of America.
Community Leadership Builders of America. I like that. So in this one, I really want to dive a little bit deeper into what you do and walk me through if I understand this right. So if I have a company and let's say it's not going the way that I think, maybe I could use some improvement, maybe I could, efficiency, whatever it is, right? I can call you and ask you to come in and evaluate the company. How does that work, Seni? Explain that part.
Thank you so much for asking me about this, because this is what I'm passionate about. As part of John Maxwell, and I told you, when I do the doctoral study, I was really after the problem of low engagement. And low engagement, according to Gallup research, America is the highest in the world, but it's only about 32, 33.
And that's high?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the highest in the world. And there's a big question for developers, for leadership developers. Why, after all those human resource development, doing training, and there's no moving of the needle, and it's worse after the COVID. So the research, according to Gallup, is 50% are doing their time. They are not for you. The minimum they can do, 9 to 5, they go home. Any opening somewhere, they will leave. And there are about 18% or so who are actively disengaged. These are the guys who call off or steal from the company, and it's a loss. So it's a loss for organizations when the engagement is low. And the big questions like, why is that, and who is responsible, and how can we do that? Like, back to your question when you asked, but I want to give you this big framework of an organization, a company. The culture, according to this organization, start with M, on it anyway, it will come back. But the health of organization depends on the culture, and culture. This is Peter Drucker, a leadership guru. He said, culture will eat your strategy for lunch. So culture means it's the different definitions of culture, but when it comes for us with the Maxwell team, it means how your team, your employees or your team, how they think, how they act, and how they interact. And how they react when there is a crisis. So the culture of the company, so you as a leader can influence culture, and culture can influence the company. So for better or for worse. And if you are not aware of that, you should create a culture to develop on those levels and one of the reason is many training or many development or human resource, that's what we call compliance training. Policy and procedures, and that's it. They teach the employees how to do the job.
Yeah.
And as a result, they come to you with a transactional attitude. You are not teaching them what it means to be a transformational leader. You develop the whole person. That means they come to you for the money, and that's it. But going back, when you ask me, yeah, we have tools for assessment. I come and talk with you, see different, what is the problem? It is structural, or it is about how you as a leader, because
is it easy? Is it safe to oversimplify what you do? And maybe we've seen these on TV shows and movies. The trust fall. I've seen, like, and I don't know. I'm oversimplifying. Is it stuff like that you would go in and kind of change the culture if that's something that they hire you for?
Yes. If you want to change the culture, I have the tools, I have the skill sets. I think because I work for my whole life trying to change people's lives. But we have the tools is to being intentional in changing a culture from what they call its complacency. And I do, part of the course in my doctoral study is change management. And the first problem with companies is complacency. And complacency it doesn't necessarily mean you do nothing. It can mean you are busy doing something you shouldn't do, or you're busy doing, so complacency, move from complacency to, like the next step is compliance. So you just teach them to do their work, their job. And some of the training end there. But you don't teach them to the third level where there is higher commitment, and to the highest level is, they call it the innovation, that's the innovation level, where they enjoy the work environment. And according to Gallup, 70% is in the hand of the leader.
Wow.
To transform the organization. So the leader can do something. The other 30% you cannot do anything. Like some employees, you cannot force them. You do everything. But 70% is in the hand of the leader to transform the organization from being unproductive to be a productive organization. And here are the things that you as a leader, here's the 4 things that follow us except from
y'all getting this for free. After this, you got to pay for this, okay? You better hire my man Seni. He's going to give you these 4 things free.
For free.
And then after this, you better hire him.
Yeah. 4 things that follow us except from that.
Okay.
This is a research by Gallup, end of 2024. They researched over 5,000 out in America and America. Every followers expect this from their leader. First one, hope. They expect hope from you. And when we say hope, they ask how long can they want to be secure at the workplace. Are they going to grow me here? They really want to be developed. Especially the Sensi. They want to be developed. They want hope. The second thing that they expect from the leader is trust. They really want, because majority at this stage, they don't trust their leader. There's especially Sensi, they are very skeptical about leader. And they look at what's happening in America and in a culture right now. They are very skeptical with authority.
Jeez.
And the third thing, I forgot, but the 4th is stability. There's a third. It will come back later.
No. See, I know it. You have to hire him now to get the number 3. So that's a very good strategy. Very good strategy.
But the first 4 is stability.
Yeah.
They want stability in organization. But that's,
Can I ask, if in these 4 building blocks, let's say a company says, you know what, I really am okay with 2 of these. I only need you to focus on the other 2. Can they customize and ask you for the help, that kind of help? Or yours is, I got to come evaluate, and then I'll tell you where your holes are. How does that work?
That's part of my role, is to evaluate the company, what are the holes, what is needed to be done. And it's up to you, this is what I want to do, or because of the budget or whatever. And here's the thing, for me as a Pacific Islander, I have a heart for a Pacific Islander. I try this last year I asked some group of business people, because within in Utah they don't know the John Maxwell team. And even this last weekend I was in some business networking event. Some people asked, who's John Maxwell? Because here in Utah they know who is the author of 7 Habits of Highly Effective. Stephen Covey.
Stephen Covey. Yep.
Yeah, they know Stephen Covey in Utah. But John Maxwell, one of his famous books, the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, was the foreword was by Stephen Covey. But John Maxwell has the largest leadership organization in the world with 50,000 in over certified coach and leadership trainer. And all we do is transform the world through leadership. And I found out from Caleb, and I'm certified with Caleb too as a strength-based leadership trainer and coach. With Caleb, they have 30,000 around the world. But John Maxwell is known for that. And he's a value-based leadership.
Just not popular in Utah, right?
Yeah, he's not popular in Utah. Some other states, and I mentioned to you, I have a friend within the John Maxwell team who hired by the NASA. He's a leadership guy with the NASA who trains staff in the NASA. And he's a John Maxwell guy. He's a doctorate. But we have the same content, same tools from the John Maxwell team. But that's how, for me, I really want to, I'm at a ground level of a scratch, but I want to bring to our community a world-class quality leadership trainer and coaching. And I'm a coach too. And I told you, I do a doctoral study, and the next course starting the first week of May is the theory and practice of coaching. So even though I'm certified with the Maxwell as a coach, I have training, and I was trained with Carlo. But my first training in coaching, here's the thing about coaching. I was trained in prison about coaching. You know, I found out the same thing, same philosophy. They train us to coach the kids. When I come to executive training on coaching, same thing, same philosophy. The same thing.
When you were working there?
Yes, I worked for 12 years.
Yeah. That's man. While you were there, you were still working on yourself in there.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You're doing a multitasking.
Yes, I worked for 12 years.
You're doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I started with the Maxwell when I was still working in prison, just to help me with my work.
That's crazy. And it's turned into this thing, and you're doing a okay. So let me ask you this: what companies right now would be better suited for your skill set? Is it at a lower level, mid-level, or where are we talking about that where you can maximize your help for the company?
Right now, I'd like to showcase my skill sets with the Pacific Island. If you struggle financially, I don't really care. I'll come alongside. I don't really care because I want the company to succeed, and when you succeed, I feel like I accomplished something.
Got you.
If you have a company that you struggle, you have the cheapest coach. But I'm not cheap. My education, it doesn't mean that I'm cheap.
Right.
But I will over-deliver. I will over-deliver if you let me.
In other words, you guys are going to exploit this man, okay?
Yeah,
please, he's got the training, he's got the know-how. Well, here's your call, here's your opportunity. We have lots of business owners and lots of people who are related to Pacific Island business owners. I will give you a chance for a call to action. Yeah, tell them, what companies out there could you help level up and maybe help them be a little bit prosperous if they change the way they did things? I will give you tell them, is there any company out there that could use your help? Who's out there what kind of skill sets do you have that you can offer our company?
Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity. Yeah, I identify myself as a strength-based leadership trainer and coach. And that means I start from identifying people's strengths, and I have tools for that. From Caleb, and also with what we call DISC. DISC. These are the tools that I use to start from your strengths and develop your team from your strengths. And a coach too. I'm a coach. I can help you if you struggle. I can spend time with you one-on-one. I'm trained as an executive coach with the Maxwell and also on the doctoral level. But this last week I was I have a coach myself, and he asked me what kind of people are looking for, and I said I'm looking for struggling businesses, and he said don't do that. And he was right. He said, you don't look for people who don't have money. You look for people who have money. And I said, it against my value. My value, I said, I want first and foremost to help struggling businesses. And if you are coachable, because there are people who are not coachable.
Yes.
Because I have a guy that I coach, one client that I coach, he's not coachable. And he is a non-coachable person. When I ask, what is your goal? He doesn't have any goal or anything. It's just like we meet every week and I say, no, you waste your time, you waste my time. You don't go anywhere. We don't see what is the result. Yeah, but if you are an individual, I can coach you. Or if you're a business that you struggle, if you have a team, struggle with engagement, I can help you. I can bring world-class training to you at a very affordable price, just to help you rise. Because for me, my huge, I'm after that. One of these days I'll be with those companies out there who don't know me. That's my dream. But for us Pacific Islanders, I want to help as much as I can to our community. That's what community build is about.
Yeah. And basically, if what I'm hearing from you, Seni, is that you've done all the heavy lifting already. There's no need for them to do it anymore.
Exactly.
Hire you. Let's cut the training in half. You got somebody in who looks like you, who sounds like you, who can relate to you culturally. Let me come help you. I totally believe that. So if you guys need something like that, yeah, we'll put our information down there. How do we get a hold of you, Seni?
I think you go to the website johncmaxwellgroup.com/Seni Penitani or 801-946-1325. But the easiest way you see that the content about my bio at johncmaxwellgroup.com/Seni Penitani.
I wish you nothing but luck. I would like to ask you in closing, what does your legacy, what does the future hold for Seni Penitani? What's your future look like?
Yeah, I mentioned before, I within the next 4 years, I really want to return to Tonga.
Not visit. It doesn't sound like you want, not for a visit, for good?
For good.
Wow.
And I'd like to, the dream was this, I can build leaders, I go to my home island in the Muka with Starlink and do leadership training from there online or coaching online. And if you are my client here, but my ideal dream is to live but I want to give back. I want to develop the people, develop leaders from my island, in the Muka, and going back to Tonga. Yeah, I think my plan is to develop this business within the next 4 years. My kids are going to college and able to survive on their own. I take my special needs son to Tonga. That's a dream. It may happen, may not, but
that's another thing. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but since you brought it up, I have to give you your flowers. Another reason why we do this show is, we don't know, tomorrow is not promised, and I would love to say, you know what, I highlighted my friend when he was here. He was doing good, so I got to ask about that part with the kids. How are things going? Are you dating? Are you looking for a Mrs. Penitani?
Good question. It's good that you bring me here. I'm open.
You know what? We should bring you back and have a dating game.
At least they know the vision, the dream, and the thing. Yeah, because that's what I did to my wife. I said, my wife, I told him, this is my vision, my dream. I'm heading back. Anyone when I head back?
Anybody who have land? Anybody who have? Oh, sorry. Because you are in that world, I wasn't going to ask you, but since I know now that you're looking, if you could be a fruit, what kind of fruits would you be and why? Because you are in that world, I wasn't going to ask you.
The first fruit that comes to mind when you say fruit is mango.
Okay.
And just part of it is the color, the sweetness of the mango.
It comes to mind when you say fruit is mango.
I want to be today sweet.
4 years. 4 years. My friend, thank you so much for sharing your life with us.
Thank you so much.
No, you are a shining example of what our people are about, the resiliency that you have shown. Thank you. I wish you nothing but the best and hope God's choicest blessings upon you, my friend.
Thank you.
If you are a company out there and you have everything together, but you don't know why you're not successful, maybe it's the culture. Please give my man Centuli a call. He can come in, evaluate, and probably change the game. And even though it's $1 million company, he's only asking for 100,000. See? My friend, my friend. Thank you so much.
Malo.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you Friday on Everyday People. As we say, please be kind, and if we help one person, we've done our job. Have a good day. Bye. Throw your teas up. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you Friday on Everyday People. As we say, please be kind, and if